The shift already happened, you're just remembering now. Imagine a moment suspended in the vastness of eternity, where the universe pauses to whisper a secret it has held since the first spark of creation. You stand at the edge of a great river, its waters shimmering with reflections of stars long extinguished, yet still alive in their radiant echo. This is the essence of *, the shift already happened. You're just remembering now *, a revelation that the transformation you seek, the awakening you chase, is not a destination but a memory encoded in the very fabric of your being. It is as if the cosmos itself has already rewritten its script. And you, the protagonist, are only now turning the page to recall your role. This introduction is not merely a prelude but an invitation to step into a narrative where time bends, perception shifts, and the ordinary unveils its hidden grandeur. The idea that the shift has already occurred resonates like a distant bell, its chime reverberating through the chambers of your soul. Picture a tapestry woven from threads of light, each strand a moment, a choice, a fleeting thought that seemed inconsequential but was, in truth, monumental. The shift is not a cataclysmic event, not a thunderclap that rends the sky, but a subtle recalibration of existence, a moment when the universe tilted ever so slightly, and everything aligned in a new constellation of meaning. You were there when it happened, though you may not have noticed. Perhaps it was in the quiet of a sleepless night, when a thought flickered like a firefly, illuminating a truth you had always known but forgotten. Or perhaps it was in the chaos of a crowded day, when the world seemed to pause, and you felt, for an instant, the weight of eternity in a single breath. This concept invites you to see reality as a palimpsest, a manuscript written over countless times, where the original text, your deepest truth, remains faintly visible beneath the layers of distraction and illusion. The shift is not something you must strive to achieve, it is something you must allow yourself to remember. It is the moment when the veil of separation thins, and you glimpse the interconnectedness of all things, the way a single drop of rain carries the story of the ocean, or how a single glance in a mirror reflects the infinity of your own existence. To remember the shift is to recognize that you are both the dreamer and the dream, the architect and the edifice, the question and the answer. Consider the metaphor of a cosmic kaleidoscope, where every twist of the lens reveals a new pattern, yet the fragments within remain unchanged. The shift has already happened, and you are living within its refracted light, piecing together the patterns that have always been there. This is not a call to action but a call to awareness, a gentle nudge to awaken to the truth that the world you perceive is but a shadow of the reality you have already shaped. The stars above, the earth beneath, the breath within, they all hum the same song, a melody of unity that you have known since before you were born. The shift is the remembering of this song, the rediscovery of your place in its harmony. In this exploration, we will journey through the layers of this idea, peeling back the mundane to reveal the sacred. We will wander through the core themes that anchor this truth, delve into the symbolic narratives that illuminate its depths, and uncover the practical ways it can reshape your daily life. This is not a linear path but a spiral, drawing you closer to the center of your own knowing. The shift has already happened, and you are not learning it anew. You are remembering it, as if waking from a dream where you forgot you were the dreamer. Let this introduction be the first step, the first note in a symphony that has been playing all along. As we stand at this threshold, the river of time flows onward, carrying the echoes of what was, what is, and what will always be. You are not here by accident, you are here because you have always been here. In the eternal now where the shift resides, the question is not whether the shift has happened but whether you are ready to remember it. Let us pause here, at the edge of this cosmic current, and consider the path ahead. The river of existence flows ceaselessly, its currents weaving patterns that seem chaotic yet pulse with an underlying order. To grasp *, the shift already happened. You're just remembering now is to step into the heart of this river, to feel its rhythms and recognize the truths it carries. This section delves into the core themes and concepts that form the scaffolding of this profound idea, not as rigid doctrines but as fluid currents of understanding that invite you to swim deeper into the waters of your own awareness. These themes are not new, they are ancient, etched into the cosmos like constellations that guide the weary traveler home. They speak of time, perception, unity, and the eternal dance between illusion and truth. Time, as we perceive it, is a relentless march, a ticking clock that measures our days and divides our lives into fragments of past, present, and future. Yet, the shift suggests that time is not a line but a circle, a spiral that loops back upon itself. The moment of transformation, the shift, did not occur at a single point on a timeline, it exists in a timeless now. A singular instant that encompasses all moments. Imagine a stone dropped into a still pond, its ripples spreading outward in all directions. The shift is that stone, and its ripples are the moments of your life, each one touched by the same eternal impact. To remember the shift is to see that every choice, every breath, is part of a singular event that has already unfolded, a story already written in the stars. This theme challenges you to release the illusion of linear progression and embrace the eternal present, where all possibilities coexist. Perception, too, is a cornerstone of this idea. The world you see is a reflection, a mirror held up to your consciousness, shaped by the stories you tell yourself. The shift has already happened, but the veil of perception often obscures it, like fog cloaking a mountain's peak. This veil is woven from the threads of habit, fear, and distraction, the illusions that convince you separation is real, that you are alone in a fragmented universe. Yet, beneath this veil lies a deeper truth. You are not separate from the world but an integral part of its symphony. The shift is the moment you glimpse this unity, when the fog lifts and you see the mountain in its fullness. To remember the shift is to retrain your perception, to see not with the eyes of division but with the vision of wholeness, where every leaf, every stranger, every fleeting thought is a note in the same cosmic song. Unity, then, emerges as another vital theme. The shift reveals that separation is the grand illusion, a dream from which you are awakening. Picture a vast tapestry, each thread distinct yet interwoven, creating a pattern that only makes sense when viewed as a whole. You are a thread in this tapestry, connected to every other, and the shift is the realization that pulling one thread moves the entire fabric. This unity extends beyond the physical, touching the realms of thought, emotion, and spirit. When you act with kindness, you ripple through the tapestry. When you harbor fear, the fabric trembles. The shift has already aligned you with this truth, and remembering it means living as if every action, every thought, is a prayer offered to the whole. Finally, the interplay of illusion and truth anchors these themes. The shift is not about creating something new but about dissolving the illusions that obscure what has always been. It is the recognition that the world of scarcity, conflict, and separation is a shadow cast by a deeper reality, one of abundance, harmony, and connection. Like a dreamer who mistakes the dream for reality, you have wandered through a world of illusions, believing them to be solid. The shift is the moment you wake, not to a new world, but to the one that was always there, waiting for your remembrance. This theme invites you to question the stories you've accepted, to peel back the layers of illusion until you touch the truth that hums beneath. These themes, time, perception, unity, and the dance of illusion and truth, are not separate but interwoven. Like rivers merging into a single sea, they form the foundation of the shift already happened. You're just remembering now. A call to awaken to the reality you have always known. To live in the wake of the shift is to move through the world with eyes that see beyond the surface, with a heart that feels the pulse of the whole. As we pause here, at the confluence of these ideas, the path ahead beckons, inviting us to explore the stories that illuminate these truths. The river of understanding deepens, its waters growing darker and more luminous as we venture into the realm of symbolic narratives. These are not mere stories but prisms through which the light of the shift already happened. You're just remembering now refracts, revealing hues of meaning that shimmer beneath the surface of everyday life. Each narrative is a thread in the cosmic tapestry, a parable woven from the eternal truths we explored in the core themes. They speak in metaphors, in images of stars and mirrors, of labyrinths and hidden keys, inviting you to see the shift not as a concept but as a living, breathing reality that pulses within you. Let us wander through these tales, each one a doorway to the remembrance of what has already been transformed. Imagine a wanderer in a vast desert, where the sands stretch endlessly under a sky heavy with stars. The wanderer carries a map, tattered and faded, that promises a hidden oasis. Day after day, they trudge through the dunes, their eyes fixed on the horizon, searching for a sign of water, of life. Yet the map is not a guide to a place but a mirror, reflecting the wanderer's own heart. One night, exhausted, they collapse beneath the stars. And in their dreams, the desert blooms. The oasis was never out there, it was within, its waters flowing through their veins, its shade cast by their own spirit. When they wake, the desert remains, but they see it anew, every grain of sand a jewel, every gust of wind a whisper of eternity. This is the shift, a realization that the treasure you seek is already yours, hidden only by the illusion of distance. The wanderer's story mirrors your own, for the shift has already happened, and you are not searching for a new truth but remembering the oasis that has always been within you. Now picture a weaver at her loom, her hands moving with a rhythm older than time. She weaves a cloth of infinite complexity, each thread a life, a moment, a dream. The pattern seems chaotic, threads crossing and tangling, yet she works with unwavering certainty. One day, a single thread snaps, and the weaver pauses. She does not repair the break but smiles. For the snap was no accident, it was the shift. The moment the pattern revealed its true design, the broken thread becomes the heart of the tapestry, its frayed ends weaving a new beauty into the whole. This story speaks to the unity beneath apparent chaos, to the truth that every misstep, every fracture, is part of a larger design. The shift is the moment you see the tapestry not as a collection of flaws but as a masterpiece already complete, its beauty waiting for your eyes to remember. Consider, too, the tale of a child who finds a locked door in a forgotten corner of their home. Behind it, they sense a vastness, a hum of something alive and infinite. They search for the key, turning over every stone, every memory, only to discover that the key is their own voice, a song they have known since birth. When they sing, the door dissolves, revealing not a room but a universe, an expanse where every star is a note in their melody. This narrative illuminates the shift as a dissolution of barriers, a remembrance that the locks we perceive are illusions, and the key is the truth you already carry. To remember the shift is to sing your song, to step through the door into the reality you have always inhabited. These stories converge in a single truth. The shift is not an event but an unveiling, a moment when the ordinary reveals its sacredness. They are not fables of far-off places but reflections of your own journey, where the desert, the loom, and the locked door are metaphors for the landscapes of your soul. The shift has already happened, and these narratives are lanterns, casting light on the path you have already walked. They ask you to see the world not as a puzzle to solve but as a poem to recite, its verses written in the language of your own becoming. As we linger in the glow of these tales, the next step awaits, where we will weave these truths into the fabric of daily life. The river of remembrance now flows into the fertile plains of everyday life, where the cosmic truths of the shift already happened. You're just remembering now take root in the soil of the ordinary. The shift, with its echoes of timelessness, unity, and unveiled truth, is not a distant star to gaze upon but a light to carry into the moments that make up your days. This section bridges the ethereal and the tangible, weaving the grand tapestry of the shift into the fabric of your routines, relationships, and choices. It is here, in the quiet acts of living, that the remembrance of the shift transforms from a fleeting vision into a lived reality. Like a seed that has always been planted and now begins to bloom. Consider the rhythm of your morning, the way you rise from sleep and step into the world. The shift invites you to pause in that first breath, to feel the pulse of eternity in the simple act of waking. Instead of rushing into the day's demands, you might linger for a moment, sensing the unity that connects your breath to the wind outside, to the breath of others across the globe. This is not a grand gesture but a subtle recalibration, a choice to see the morning not as a hurdle but as a sacred threshold. By remembering the shift, you align your perception with the truth that this moment, this mundane act, is part of an infinite whole. You might begin your day with a quiet affirmation, not spoken aloud, but felt in the heart, that you are not separate from the world but woven into its fabric. And every step you take ripples through the tapestry of existence. In your interactions with others, the shift manifests as a softening, a recognition that the stranger, the friend, the antagonist, is a reflection of the same eternal light that shines within you. Imagine a conversation where frustration flares, a colleague's sharp words, a loved one's misunderstanding. The shift reminds you that this moment is not a battle but an opportunity to see beyond the illusion of separation. Instead of reacting from a place of division, you might pause, breathe, and respond with a question that seeks to understand, to bridge the gap. This is the practical embodiment of unity, a choice to act as if the shift has already aligned all hearts in a shared dance. Over time, these small acts of connection, listening deeply, offering kindness, seeing the other as part of your own story, reshape relationships into spaces of mutual remembrance. The shift also transforms how you engage with challenges. Those moments when life feels like a desert of uncertainty. The symbolic wanderer found the oasis within. So too can you find resilience by remembering that the solution is not outside you but already present. When faced with a decision, whether trivial or profound, you might ask yourself, what would I choose if I believed the shift has already happened? This question is a compass, guiding you to act from a place of wholeness rather than scarcity. Perhaps it's choosing to rest instead of pushing through exhaustion, trusting that the universe supports your well-being, or it's taking a bold step toward a dream, knowing that the path is already laid within the spiral of time. These choices, grounded in the remembrance of the shift, ripple outward, shaping a life that feels aligned with a deeper truth. Even in the mundane tasks, washing dishes, answering emails, walking through a crowded street, the shift offers a lens of wonder. The weaver's broken thread taught us that every moment is part of the design. As you scrub a plate, you might see it as a meditation, each circular motion a reminder of the eternal now. As you type a message, you might infuse it with intention, knowing that your words are threads in the tapestry of connection. The shift does not demand that you abandon your routines but that you imbue them with awareness, transforming the ordinary into a canvas for the sacred. This is the practical integration of the shift, not a rejection of the world but a re-enchantment of it. A remembrance that every act is a note in the cosmic symphony. These implications extend beyond the personal, touching the collective. By living as if the shift has already happened, you become a beacon, subtly inviting others to remember. Your choices, to listen, to create, to pause, send ripples through the shared fabric of humanity. In a world often clouded by division and haste, this remembrance becomes a quiet revolution, a way of being that heals not through force but through presence. The shift is not a solitary awakening but a collective one, and your daily acts of alignment are offerings to that greater whole. As we stand at this juncture, the river of the shift flows through the ordinary, making it extraordinary. The path now leads to a final reflection, where we will weave these threads into a vision of transformation. The river of the shift already happened. You're just remembering now reaches its delta, where the waters of cosmic truth and earthly existence merge into a vast, shimmering expanse. Here, at the culmination of our journey, we gather the threads of time, perception, unity, and the interplay of illusion and truth, weaving them into a final tapestry that is both a reflection and a call. This conclusion is not an end but a threshold, a moment where the remembrance of the shift becomes a living flame, illuminating the path forward. It is an invitation to step fully into the reality you have always known. To live as if the universe has already whispered its secrets and you have heard them. To transform not by striving but by awakening to what has always been. The shift is not a distant event, a cosmic spectacle reserved for mystics or seers. It is the quiet pulse within every heartbeat, the light that flickers in every glance. It is the realization that you are not a solitary figure adrift in a fragmented world but a note in an eternal symphony, a thread in an infinite weave. To remember the shift is to see yourself as both the creator and the creation, the dreamer who shapes the dream. This remembrance is not passive, it is a call to embody the truth that the shift has already happened. To walk through the world with eyes that see the sacred in the mundane, with a heart that feels the unity beneath the chaos. It is a call to live as if every moment is a doorway to eternity, every choice a brushstroke on the canvas of existence. Reflect on the stories we've woven, the wanderer who found the oasis within, the weaver whose broken thread revealed the design, the child whose song unlocked the universe. These are not fables but mirrors, reflecting your own capacity to see beyond the veil of illusion, the desert of your doubts, the tangles of your struggles. The locked doors of your fears, they are not barriers but invitations. The shift has already dissolved them. And your task is to remember this truth in the quiet moments of your day. When you stand at a crossroads, uncertain of the path, pause and ask, what would it mean to act as if the shift has already aligned all things? The answer will not come as a thunderbolt but as a whisper. A gentle nudge toward a choice that feels like coming home. This transformational call is not about changing who you are but about recognizing who you have always been. It is about letting go of the stories that bind you to separation and embracing the ones that sing of connection. In the mundane acts of life, sharing a meal, listening to a stranger, tending to your own heart, you plant seeds of remembrance that ripple outward. These ripples touch others, not through grand gestures but through the quiet authenticity of a life lived in alignment with the shift. You become a beacon, not by preaching but by being. A living reminder that the world is not as divided as it seems. That the shift has already woven us all into a single tapestry. As you move forward, carry the shift as a lantern, its light steady even in the darkest moments. When the world feels heavy, when illusion threatens to cloud your vision, return to the river within you, the one that flows with the truth of your own eternity. Let it guide your steps, your words, your dreams. The shift has already happened, and you are not waiting for transformation, you are living it. Moment by moment, breath by breath, this is the call. To remember, to embody, to become the shift itself. The universe is not waiting for you to catch up, it is waiting for you to wake up. And so, we stand at the edge of this delta, where the river meets the sea, where the finite touches the infinite. The shift is not a destination but a homecoming, a remembrance of the truth that you are both the journey and the traveler. Step forward, not with striving, but with grace, knowing that the shift has already happened, and you are simply remembering now.